All praises to the Most High, how you keep said. All praises to the Holy Spirit, Kai. All praises to most of the Lamb, the Messiah. The Water Abba for allowing us to see another day. We're in the book of remembrance of our ancient grandmothers. I'm reading from the Zedekah Telebab edition. Today we're going to be in chapter 10 of the book of remembrance. What is the book of remembrance? The book of remembrance is a volume of books that's mentioned in Malachi 3:16. It says, "Then they that revered and loved the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and in his presence a book of remembrance was written for them that revered the Lord and that thought upon his name." His name is his character. Chapter 10 is going to be talking about an account of the life of Noah, from his birth through his courtship and marriage. Yes, this is the Noah that you know, that we know from the Bible. Verse 1. "And it came to pass that after seeing all these marvelous truths, I continued to be anxious to learn more of the wonders that Moses wanted to perform for his father, as he set himself about the task of preparing the world for the conditions which would lead to the holy people returning to Eden, and the wicked in Hellah being destroyed by water." Excuse me. "And I once again took up Urim, and the scribes prepared themselves to record the vision. And again before my eyes came a vision of Iona, and I beheld her again as she received word that her husband had taken 2 new wives. And after the Lord counseled her not to heed his summons to go to him, she went instead into the deep reaches of western Qatar. Now the people where she had been living had named her with a new name, and it was Alman, because she had been forsaken by her husband. For when the people learned that she no longer had a husband, they viewed her and looked upon her as one who had chosen not to go with him. And in their eyes she was the first woman to be divorced. And it was understood by them that she was not to speak or offer her opinion or advice to anyone, because she had been cast aside by her husband, and she was now seen as a wayward woman because of her husband." When it says almond, as a side note, it's not an almond like the nut from a tree. This is spelled Allmon, but it's pronounced like the almond on a tree. Verse 4. "And when Iona was at the pool of heaven, and she heard Botan speaking with her companions about her white stone, she said nothing, but went home and pondered upon that which she had heard. And later, when she opened her hand to show Botan the white stone she had been given, again she spoke very little, but quietly invited Botan to her dwelling place, so she could converse with her. And this was because she could speak freely in her encampment, for Jubal had compassion on her, and he established their settlement in a little ways off from the others. And their encampment was viewed with disdain, because in it she was treated as other women. And I could see that there was a holy woman who was the keeper of the water tablet, who was the grandmother of Noah, and the great-grandmother of Melchizedek, who was in this way looked upon narrowly by the unknowing. And as I considered these things, I began to understand that the Lord allowed these things to transpire for a wise purpose. For in her future, it would be the way designed by the Lord, that she and her family find obscurity and isolation in order for Noah to perform his task in calling forth the flood, and thus be protected from all the designs of the forces of evil. And when they went to see Yatzakad, the brothers of Iona heard concerning the division of the watchers of heaven, and she would have them speak a little to her each day, and she would go off by herself and put it to memory. And she consulted with listeners, and they taught her how to remember that which she would hear. And she memorized all the doings of Enoch, and the naming of the watchers of heaven. And she inquired into all things that were taught at the pool of heaven. And she learned from anyone she could, And she would take people aside and ask them to have compassion on her and teach her. And the righteous did not call her almond. And when she received the water tablet, she sent word to Enoch that she wanted to be taught concerning it. And a year passed when a traveler came and asked in the encampment, "Do you have one here called Iona?" And the people said, "Yes." And the traveler said, "I have word from Enoch." And when he came to Iona, he told her the message from Enoch, which said, "Enoch said, we'll provide at the pool of heaven." So Iona went to the pool of heaven earnestly seeking, and she learned from Abara. And amongst his teachings he taught the water tablet, and he said it was fitting that it should be taught at the pool of heaven. And as time went by, Iona taught the children of Botan all these things also. And she was known in her day as a great teacher. And because of her diligence to teach, Noah was very familiar with the watchers of heaven. And people would say, "How is it that people are taught by one called Almond?" And the Lord smiled upon her. Now in her dwelling place she could speak as other women, in whatever manner she chose, both to her family and to any who visited her encampment. And Iona loved her white stone because it was the element of righteousness given to her by an angel of heaven, assuring her that Enoch said approved of her and was pleased that she walked in the way that he had guided her. And the white stone declared in this way that she stood innocent before the Lord, no matter how she was viewed by the people. And no one knew better than she that inside her white stone was a name, and it was Enoch said. And she loved the one who said, "I am loving kindness." Side note, that is what Enoch said means. Or if you hear me say Ahayaki said, when you go into the Hebrew and you break it down, you get your concordance, you're going to find out that's what that name breaks down to. Not sure if many people watch this video. I don't even really do it for the views at this point. I'm doing it for obedience to the Father and to learn. But if anyone does watch this video and you would like to know what numbers to look for in the concordance, leave it in a comment and I will do my diligence to try to find that out for you as well, so we can continue to learn and grow together in love. All praises to the Most High. Verse 10. And it can be seen that all things worked for her good, and the Lord performed his wondrous work. And because of all these things, her kinsmen and people began to be more and more alone and separate from the people. And I saw that Iona and Botan had a close bond, because they held their white stones in common. And when Lamech, the son of Iona, and Botan, the daughter of Amaziyadad, were married, the Lord appeared to Botan, and he gently told her that she was seen to be highly favored in heaven. And I beheld with Urim that Botan was very close to creation, and she was one in her spirit with the Er Kodeshi. And she was confident and comfortable with solitude, and she was respected by her people, and thought upon as one who was like the ancients in her nature. And she could blend into the Er Kodeshi like unto her father Amaziyadad. And her special places to seek the Lord and to meet with him were in the tight thickets where she could not be seen. And Shemael was her guardian. And when the people did not know where she was or what she was doing, they did not worry, because Motsa was her companion wherever she went. And in all these things it can be seen that the one whose womb was holy, and the keeper of the water tablet, who had turned themselves aside from the traditions of the people to walk in holiness, were indeed being prepared in their lives to perform a special task for Motsa the Lamb. And they were also being separated, so they did not walk in the way of the people during the raising of evil before the time of the flood. And I knew that because Noah would be different than other men, he had to be raised up in very special ways. Now remember that in the midst of all this, they knew that they both were approved of by Enoch said, and thus the mother and grandmother of Noah went into those tumultuous times being prepared with confidence and holiness of heart that would carry them through. And it came to pass that many of those left behind by the masters of Seku were ignorant and prone to violence, and they began to encroach upon the righteous in the land of Qatar. And it was at this time that Jubal and all in the encampment determined to move westward. And also the masters of Seku, with their evil Nephilim, began to make forays into Qatar. And it was at the time when Rashuya and Aku were killed that Jubal went westward. And as they traveled, the Spirit led them, insomuch that they came to a river west of the river Hales. And there, in a quiet and isolated valley, they settled, and met a very tall and thin man named Rock, or Rack. And he was the first to cultivate fruit trees, and he had many apricot trees under his care. And by, he became close friends with Lamech and Botan, and he taught Lamech how to tend fruit trees, and they were often seen together. And they both were not travelers, but quiet, peaceful, and sedentary men. And Lamech taught Rack in all the ways of the Lord. And Rack was very intent to learn concerning the gentle guidances of Anochesed after the manner of the things taught on the guidance tablet of Enoch. And he was very diligent to follow them in all his daily walk. And it was known that Rack was from the western high places that overlooked the Shaman Sea. And he was a descendant of Maikar, and he fled from the wicked there when they became too numerous. And when he found his new home, the Lord led him to know how to tend apricot trees and grapevines. And these two men had their interests in common, because Lamech was the first to cultivate cucumbers and leeks and beans, and they both loved Anochesed. And their families prospered in their walk upon the earth in that place. And the place where they dwelt was called Ebenim. And it was here that Botan first conceived, and she delivered a child, and it was a girl, and she was named Arvade. And she grew in stature before the Lord, and she chose to be a great traveler, like unto Luki, the wife of Abara. And in those days solitude for the inhabitants of Ebenim was sweet, as wickedness and violence were fast spreading across the land, coming down from the north country, where the masters of Seku were assembling. And I saw that Arvade came to marry one of the sons of Rack, and his name was Foot. And it can be seen that, well, I'm not sure if this is Foot or Put. I think my brother Peasy was having the same same little run up right here. One moment, give me just a moment. Okay, I'm back, family. I just really want to look up and see how to properly pronounce this name. So yeah, it is Put, like I was thinking. So you pronounce it like how you would P-U-T. I think I even seen one version said Poot, but I'm gonna say Put. Cause I don't listen. If I'm saying the name wrong, please forgive me. Please forgive me. I don't know if it's supposed to be Poot or if it's supposed to be Put, but I don't want nobody to get confused and be on here laughing and cracking up all the time. So I'm gonna say Put. If I'm wrong, Father, please forgive me and give me the guidance to know the correct way to say it. And if it is Poot, we're gonna say Poot, and we're just gonna be mature about it, and we're gonna be mature in the spirit about it if that is how you really say it. All right, let me start 19 over. We almost finished. And I saw that Arvade came to marry one of the sons of Rack, and his name was Put. And it can be seen that Put had much disdain for violence, and he would take any measure to avoid it. And he would take his family and travel in order to avoid the prospect of violence. And they joined with some of like mind and formed a roving band. And they herded sheep, and they grazed all the places on the earth for a wide area. And they knew where to find provisions and water. And they knew all the news of every sort that they learned in their travels. And they were often called upon by others so they could find their way about. And I beheld that Arvade became the grandmother of the Bedouins, and they were intent upon peaceful living, and they became known for their hospitality and skill in enduring hardship. All praises to the Most High. That was beautiful. The water Abba, the water Mosa, because y'all don't know, but I wasn't feeling too great at the beginning of this, man. But I feel all right right now, especially reading this, man. Especially reading about Arvade and Put, man. Even some of these names, man, they just feel so amazing. Like I can't explain it, man. The way our people used to be named and stuff. And man, listen, cool don't do it enough for me. Like, man, this is awesome, man. And even just listening to this last part, I want to see what these Bedouins are. But I'm wondering, before I look this up, I'm wondering if this has any type of relation to like hotel type of hospitality. You know what I mean? Because if I'm not mistaken, I think I heard the brother Peasy in Ari when they did a lesson. I think the Bedouins, if I'm not mistaken, are the ones who I see it would have been in the next verse. That's where we get linen from. They are the one who basically, you know, the Most High taught to create linen. And when it was saying that they was intent upon peaceful living and hospitality, that made me think of a hotel, a nice suite or something like that. You know, just good Southern living. You know what I mean? Or, you know, not even just Southern living, just, you know, you go to a nice hotel or something like that and you get the rest. You know what I mean? And you know how the beds and everything made and nice. That's what this sound like for me. That's what that sound like for me. Let me look up and see what a Bedouin says. I'm gonna see if they have anything on here. Let's see, bed, Bedouin. Let's see, what is a definition? A nomadic Arab of the desert. Okay, and our people was out in that way. An encampment of Bedouin on the edge of the desert. Ooh, relating to the Bedouin, a Bedouin song about a desert journey. So these people was out there in the desert for real. Let's see. How does it say to say it? Let's see. What did it say? Yep, Bedouin. All right, y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me answer this phone. All right, I pray that y'all have a blessed day today. I hope that today is a better day than yesterday. Walk in the fruit of the Spirit. Forgive somebody today. Show love on somebody today. Pray to the Most High that you be healed. And hey, man, real quick, let me say this, man. Shout out to all the families that's out here trying to walk on this path, man. That's trying to walk in righteousness to the Most High. Shout out to the brothers and sisters that's trying to walk and keep the sanctity of marriage. Even if you're not married and you still trying to keep the sanctity of marriage. Shout out to y'all, man. And I hope that we can come together and pray against the adversary that's trying to come against these holy unions that are trying to please and praise the Most High. Stay strong, stay together, upset the enemy. This is war, okay? This is a declaration of war in the spirit realm. We are fighting right now. We are fighting against spirits. Pray for your sisters to come out of that evil wickedness that has been taught to them by the falling angels. Pray that they get away from these brothers who are leading them away with diverse lusts and silly sins. Pray that these people change their hearts and know that multiple relation stuff is wicked and an abomination, and there are scriptures for it. Pray that they don't have to get these scriptures from someone who got a twisted and evil mind. I pray against the enemy that's trying to come against these holy unions right now in the name of Most of the Lamb. So be it. Y'all have a peaceful day, man. Shalom.